Hey everyone, welcome back to another video of Marvel Future Revolution. So this is my second time making this video. If you know my channel by now and have an idea of how I make videos, it's basically just shoot and upload. And so I don't edit, so like if I have a video where I'm like, I complained too much in that, I was too negative in that, I was too happy in that, I'll just usually reshoot it. And some things have happened in the game since I made that video, so I'm really glad I'm remaking this video. So I really want to talk about how I feel about the current state of the game. Now, this isn't meant to project anything on anyone. This is just my feelings and my thoughts and what I feel about the game. I love Marvel. I just want to put that out there. I've been a Marvel fan since I was 9 years old, and I'm 41. And I love gaming. And I love Marvel games. I specifically seek out games with the Marvel title because I think I'm going to have more fun on those games than any other game possible, with the exception of Star Trek. Star Trek and Marvel are my thing. And that was the case with this game for a good amount of time. You know, we played since launch. We were the number one alliance on the server, and we did it by having an amazingly fun time with each other. And I really wanted to stick to that kind of mindset. I never sought out people who were spenders. I never sought out whales. I sought out people who wanted to check their attitudes and their egos at the door and have a good time with the game, and to support players in their gameplay. And in turn, while I was doing that, I was also making leaders out of those people so that they could show new players on more about the game. And we have somebody who's really good at helping people with the inner workings of the game. And I just want to give him a shout out because he's done such an amazing job with everyone and coaching them and teaching them about the game, who is Tiny Elephant. He's my deputy. He's on many servers talking about just game specs, stats, everything with other people who love to do that. It's definitely not my thing. I like to talk with people. I like to build people up. I like to just kind of make a family, and that's what we've done in our alliance. And it's been a really good time, a really good time. And I'm not saying that because like I'm quitting, but the gameplay has definitely calmed down a lot. Like if I was going 90 miles an hour before, I'm probably going 10 now. It's like seriously slowed down for me. And there's several reasons why. And this is part of the gamble that the developers take on. You know, we had a server merge, and that server merge changed everything in the game. It took us from the number one alliance to the number 3 alliance, which isn't bad. It's still really good. But the server merge wasn't the only change, you know. And to go back to the server merge, along with the server merge, we had no change to leaderboards. So we had free-to-play players who were coming in at top 100 on leaderboards. They were getting lots of gems, and they were using those gems to kind of offset the fact that they were free-to-play because they were doing their best to grind out those rewards so that they could enjoy this game with us. Then the server merge came, and all of those people, myself included, and I've spent I think $2,000 in the game, $2,500 on the game, somewhere in that ballpark in the course of 3 or 4 months. And yeah, I think we're at 3 months. Um, and even I dropped off top 100, and no offense and no shade directed at Reborn. Just to show you guys who I'm talking about right here. Reborn in Dragon's Blood, he's like the top player for everything. Really nice guy, never had any problems with it, seems like a really nice guy, but of course he gets a bad rap because he is the number one player on the server, and people usually go for the throat of the number one player. And and with his team, they had so many people at like 2 million power. And with as much as I spent, I'm not even cracking 1.5 million yet. I'm at like 1.46 million. And I think that was a lot of spending for a game. And then I started talking with the free-to-play players. They had told me stories of, they would literally go into the dark zone and they couldn't even tag the bosses because the moment they would spawn, they would die. They literally just could not get in there. And the dark zone was pretty much, another source where you could get gems now. But even before that, you could get those cards. And the whole dark zone changed with the patch. And I don't understand why they did this. Why they moved some cards to the Dark Zone store. Some cards are still in the bosses, but you can't actually get to the bosses because you're constantly killed. And that was really the only source to get your 1-star cards, which would, take about 36 of them to get... Am I doing my math right? I don't think I'm doing my math right. Yeah, maybe 36 of them to get a 3-star card. And... thousands of cards in order to get a 5 or 6-star card. They were cut out of that immediately. And so I had a player quit, and that really caused me, because I consider this person part of my gaming family. And I take that very serious when people quit over gameplay issues. Because I always look out over everyone in my alliance. And I could hear the frustration when they were talking to me. And I couldn't really say anything to them because I completely agreed with everything that they had to say. And so the great thing is that they are still with us. They still communicate. They're always in Discord talking about, what's going on in their daily life. And they're waiting for another game to come back and play with us. But I had to take a look and see, am I pushing the team too hard? And so actually, I asked everyone, I said, do you guys want to go to a casual gameplay and really get away from the competitive gameplay? Because it's really not in our benefit anymore. There's no change in leaderboards. We have 4 times as many players on our server than we had before. No one is getting in top 100 for any kind of rewards. All of these things, no one can get into Dark Zone. We eventually figured it out, but by that time, no one really wanted to do it anymore. And so I suggested we go to casual. So we were on the top. We were a top 3 alliance on the newly merged server, and people are barely logging in now. And so I made the requirement is you got to log in and you got to donate gold. That's all you got to do. And that's all I've been doing. I think yesterday I was combining a lot of gear and I made a nano. And I wasn't even excited anymore. And I was like, that's a problem. That's a massive problem right there. And so I still want to create content. This is the thing. I still want to create content for this game because it is a Marvel game. And I fully believe in Marvel as a property. That's why I'm here. But as the game stands right now, it's not fun. At least not for me. Even if we look at the content, I think Halfsend, he did a really good video on this. And I think his video was just really talking about how Netmarble could actually change some of the content to be engaging, to have that gameplay. He was talking about some of the game modes and how those could be changed. He was talking about all the maps that are currently unused. And, I even think that Dark Zone could be an area where you have a destroyed New Stark City and there's goals on repairing the city, rebuilding the city, that you actually don't fight anyone. You're just working on these tasks and rebuilding the city. I think that would be a really cool game mode to have with, heroes using their powers or their abilities to get those things done. Or to work as a team, you need different characters to work on, different objectives. I think something like that could be fun. Not everything has to just be about fighting. But, that's a really mute point because that's not the game we have. And so we all decided to go casual, and everyone is still here. I think if any person who's watching this video that should get anything out of this video is really dedicated to the people in my alliance. I think they are the most amazing people in the world, because I've never known an alliance to go from hyper competitive to casual and everyone is still sticking around. That says a lot about the group. And I don't want to take credit for that, because I think everyone has contributed to making a core group of where we really support each other in our personal matters, in our gaming matters. We play we play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legends. We play Marvel Contest of Champions. We play DC Worlds Collide. We play Xbox, PlayStation, PC. We have rooms for those. We play so many different games together. It is an amazing group. So I just want to give a huge shout out to those people. But you have 50 people. Now I'm talking to the developer in Marvel. Developer, not Marvel and Marvel. You have 50 people who are hyper competitive and are no longer engaging in your game. That's a massive problem. And I know we're not the only people that feel this way. I think we definitely need some changes. Those leaderboards need a massive overhaul. That has to be one of the very first things you work on, because people are no longer getting rewarded based on their experience of being rewarded before. Another thing, Dark Zone needs a massive overhaul. I have heard from my free-to-play players, they haven't been able to progress anything in 2 months. No matter all the amount of gear that you have given away, think about how much it takes for one piece of nano and how little that one nano piece does. And that's the big problem, is that these free-to-play players are feeling no progression. There's no movement in any direction. They're just static and kind of staying in place. And that is a balancing that needs to happen. We need to see some sort of balancing to that. We need to see some sort of balancing when it comes to PvP. I made a recommendation that they are power locks or squad locks on every character. So if I'm 1.4 million, I can't hit below 1.3 million and I can't hit above 1.5 million. That is really going to make that PvP fair. As a let's say I'm almost 1.5 million player, I don't want to hit a 900k player. That, to me, that's not fun. What's fun is hitting a 1.5 million player and playing better than them. That's where the fun comes from. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. So, we have a lot of different content modes that I would say one I absolutely do not like. Most are fair, and one I absolutely love. And so I would just want to go down those really quick. I'm going to start with the positives here. I love training grounds. I absolutely love it. I love grinding out the gear, getting the free rewards, doing the XP without being shot at by other players, because I'm trying to do a different task. I love training grounds. I think it's fantastic. Some people have an issue with it. I don't think it's a content mode where you should have to focus on it, and you should be able to just auto through it. One day I did it for 6 hours, and it worked really well. I got my character to level 110. I loved it. I got a lot of loot for it. It was fantastic. I love that game mode. I would say the only thing I would do is move bosses. If you don't want to fix Dark Zone, move bosses from Dark Zone into training grounds, so that people don't need to be shot at to try to earn their cards. Now, you don't even need to put the gems in there, because I know you want the gems to be for PvP. As long as you put those cards in there, that will be a big boost to the player morale for helping them progress in their game. Training grounds. Blitz. I didn't like the changes that had happened to Blitz a couple of months ago, and Blitz is fine. You go in there 5 times and you're done. You auto through it. Some people say that they can auto through the entire thing. I can't. I have to watch, even at my level, I have to watch Black Widow when she faces Dormammu, because I'm typically, if I go in there solo, it's super easy, because it's just me by myself. They're not putting that multiplier on that HP, making it more difficult. But if I go in there with a full group, and that group can't hold their DPS and I have to carry them, that makes it incredibly difficult for me for staying alive, because Black Widow can do a whole heck of a lot of damage. She can't take it though. and that's the definite issue there, is making sure I evade and I do my hard dodges, run around, do my thing. So for all intents and purposes, I think Blitz is fine. I think there's an argument to be said of making it challenging, making it vary from day to day. I think that would be a good idea, but I'm not too concerned with Blitz. Most Wanted. Woo! Most Wanted. Ever since the server merge, this game mode has been a pain in my butt. I had to go from being able to, on the spot, be like, okay, I needed these 3 bosses. I go find these 3 bosses and they're dead. I can't find them now. I will move around to the Dark Domain or the last map in Sakaar, and I will move on map 1, 2, and 3 and not have any bosses at all. Not even the ones I don't need. They're all gone. And maybe War Machine is there because he's always there, because he has so much freaking HP on him, and maybe armor. But that's an issue. I think if we could alternate to all the different other bosses that are on all the different maps, and it's constantly fluctuating and it's changing and it's varying, I think that would be so much more engaging than the same 3 bosses every single day that are never there and you can't find them. I literally have to park on a spawn spot and just turn on the sleep mode, and just hopefully I hit something. And I wake up and I don't have to worry about too many other things to do. And sometimes I have to do that. Well, let's see. I'm not talking about special operations yet for a reason. Battle Challenge. I think Battle Challenge is fine. I just went up to 30 because at that time we were being competitive. Um, and, you know, honestly, there's this argument for competitive and difficult content because some people think that's fun. And then there's the other argument for people who want to AFK and auto through it. And so I can see Netmarble is trying to weigh that in some of the content. Like in the previous invasion, oh my god, those spikes on the ground everywhere. It was horrible for Black Widow. I was like, I'm not even gonna do invasion. Um, I I haven't done daily invasion for a long time. But battle challenge, honestly, I think it's fine. I think battle challenge is nice because I can go in there and I can auto through 30 levels. And then the last 5 levels, I might want to pay attention to the screen. Raids. Um, Raids, it's a tricky one because I like raids. I like going in there. They're really fast. I love quick content. And you get the materials and you go and do your specs. There's people have come up with the argument that we need more challenging raids and have raids be more rewarding. The problem with more challenging raids, in my perspective, is that's only for spenders. Free to play players, they can't really take on more challenging than what they have already. And this comes back to kind of balancing the free to play and the whales, or even people who spend money on the game. And so I would love for a raid to be more challenging with more mats for specializations, but I would be concerned with the free to play players on that. Okay, arenas. We have Omega War, Dimensional Duel, and Dark Zone. I no longer do any of those. Omega War was fun for a while. Now, because it was one of our required activities, and now that we don't have to do it, I think I'm kind of enjoying not having to go in there every day. I'm not the biggest PvP person. I've kind of built my character to do PvP, but if I had my option, I would just love to do PvE. You know, um, I don't really subscribe to the mentality that I need to take out more people in PvP, so I need to spend more. And then we get into like that battle of egos where it's all about just spending more so you can do more damage to the other person. And I don't really subscribe to that. I would say, if this was a console game, I might feel a little bit more stronger on PvP, but I've never really felt that strong on PvP. I think the only reason I've done it is because it tends to be the most rewarding content, but I am not doing any of those. And it takes me to Spec Ops. I'm a Black Widow. she's not, she's not good at Spec Ops. I kind of want to throw some Region Gear on Storm and start taking her in there instead, but I don't feel like it's rewarding. And I think that really brings me to another point is, for me, the content needs to feel rewarding. It needs to feel fun, entertaining, and rewarding. And Training Grounds definitely fulfills the rewarding part. I think it's fun. I think it's just kind of fun to watch and just let the character go. However, I think that's the only mode that applies to. And that's one of their newest modes too, which might be a good thing if that's the direction that Netmarble is going to go in. But time will only tell with that. Like I said, I have just been logging in to do donations. I'm really curious about the next patch. Like, what are we going to see? What kind of changes are coming? Are we going to see more balancing? Are we going to see more content? And brings me back to my last point. And I think this might have been an oversight and one of my biggest failings is picking a game like this. Like, this isn't a Hero Collector. This isn't Marvel Contest of Champions or Marvel Future Fight. This is MMORPG with very few select characters and fewer that come out every year. I think they said only 2 will come out every year. I heard that from someone. And I'm like, well, how do we tell which characters are coming out? Marvel has like thousands of characters. And is my favorite character coming out? And if you can see the image of the thumbnail, you'll know who my favorite character is. That's actually an image of X-Men number 101. It is signed by the amazing Chris Claremont, who wrote that comic. He also designed all of the 1970s X-Men, like Rogue, Gambit, Psylocke. I think he did Jubilee. That generation of X-Men. I'm not sure if he did Storm. He may have done Storm. But that's my comic. I found in a comic book store. And I was so excited when I found this comic book because it was just laying there. And I'm like, dude, how much? And it looked real freaking nice, like in real nice condition. And they're like, oh, there's no price on it. They're like, $60. I'm like, done. And I took it with me to New York Comic Con where Chris Claremont was going to be signing. And I was like, dude, I need Chris Claremont to sign this. And so I went over to the guys who were running the booth that basically grade your comic and seal it up. And they were working with Chris Claremont, and they're like, yeah, we can get this over to him to sign it, and then we'll seal it and we'll grade it. And they graded it a 9 out of 10. It's a near mint condition for this thing that was just laying around. And if you don't know X-Men 101, it is the premiere of the Phoenix, rising out of the New York Bay. And that is the character, long story short, that is the character I want. It can be Jean Grey. Heck, it could be Rachel Grey. It could be Emma Frost. It could be any of my female telepaths on the X-Men. But I just don't know if I'm getting that. And that's one of my biggest issues with the game. I use Black Widow. She's fun. She's awesome. But I don't love that character. And that's what it comes down to for me. I want to be immersed in the game I'm playing. And I can't do that with a character I'm not really fond of. Like when the Avengers movies came out and I was like, it's Marvel, whatever. And I kind of went on to it, but it's the X-Men. X-Men has been in my blood since I was 9 years old. I've watched everything. I've read everything. When Magic came out, I was explaining her to the Alliance. I'm like, no, y'all, you don't understand. She is amazing. And, she's kind of broken in the game. But I loved that they came out with Magic. Not one of my top X-Men, but I think she's great. She has an amazing story. If you haven't read her background story or any of her comics or any of the New Mutants, definitely check that out. But, that's what it really boils down to for me. And I'm going to still log in. I'm still going to play the game. But it's going to be on a much different level. And we're going to kind of see where it goes. I'm being very careful about any more spending I do on this game because of that. And I mean, Marvel doesn't have to worry because I'm spending on their other games a lot of money is going to that other game they have. But for right now, I just don't know the future of where I am with this game, and that's kind of where I'm at. But I just want to make a video just to talk to you guys about that. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry this video went on for 30 minutes, but and I'm sure somebody's gonna talk about how I just dragged on. I kind of did just drag on a lot there, but I wanted to get this out, and I didn't want it to be negative or just really nasty. I love this game, and I think there can be a lot of greatness from it. We're just not there yet. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll talk with you later.